So are these all the excuses for why you won't change?
Oh boy.
Do we have a Sharpie anywhere? Because I know the answer to this. The reason why you won't change is this. So what I know about all of us, I was super stuck. The one thing that really marks that time was a ton of self-loathing and feeling worthless and shame and kind of all those really dark emotions. If you are somebody, which you are, that is smart, that is able to identify the things that you need to do, and you consistently don't do them, then there is an underlying story that you have about yourself that keeps playing out. And maybe you were, I don't off the top of my head know your story in terms of your past, but maybe you were in an abusive relationship. Maybe you were in a relationship as a child with parents that made you feel worthless. Maybe you had a huge setback and you haven't recovered from it. There is an element to where when it's self-sabotage, what happens for a lot of us is we take what somebody else used to do to us and do it to ourselves because it's the only thing you know. So were you in like an abusive relationship? For real? Was it physical abuse, sexual abuse? That can actually be worse. The issue for you is those tapes. And the issue for you is that the thinking that you're worthless and that you're stupid and that you're not good enough and that you can't do anything right, that it got so ingrained by some. As screwed up as it sounds, if that's all that you've ever heard, it becomes the thing that you repeat, very much like learning a language. So if you think about the fact that as a kid, if you are in a household that speaks a certain language, let's say they're speaking Russian, you pick it up and then you don't even realize it, but you parrot it back, and when you're not thinking about it or when you get super tired, even if you've spoken English for 20 years, you might say something in Russian. And that's what you're going to war against. Can you tell me in your own words, what is the word that you use? Do you know, is it worthless? Is it don't deserve it? What did he used to say to you that really hurt? Dummy? The reason why you don't carve out time for yourself and the reason why you blow off the appointments for yourself, notice it's not for other people, it's for you, is because of this underlying feeling that you're not important. And the only way to break this, you've already gone to therapy, you've already dealt with the tapes, you don't use that language with yourself. The only way to break apart this story is through action now. The reason why I say that is because you can make all the plans in the world, but until you see yourself taking action on the things that are important to you, your own inaction enforces the story that you're a dummy. Does that make sense? So it sounds like through intensive therapy, you got rid of the tape, but you didn't get rid of the behavior. What happens when somebody is beaten down and psychologically battered is you become paralyzed, you doubt everything, you feel like you're spinning in circles, you feel like you can't rely on yourself. That is a classic manifestation of emotional abuse because you lose your power. And so you start spinning. And for you, you've stopped doing that in your head, and now you're just frustrated as hell because you can't see yourself moving forward. You're physically doing it in your life. So here's what I would like you to do. Let's pick one area where you feel stuck and where you know what you need to do. And what does that mean? See, dummy. Do you see this? I'm going to keep pointing it out because you've adopted the self-criticism. This is what I want you to do. I want you to run just for 1 week. That's it. I just want you every day for 1 week to push yourself, no matter how you're feeling, no matter how stupid you think it is, no matter how you now start feeling resigned that it's not going to work. I want you every single day to either watch something about SEO or put up one project, because I need for you to start to break the cycle of spinning in place, and I need for you to see yourself starting to inch forward. It's critical because you now need physical evidence that you can push yourself forward, because you can't even hear how critical you are of yourself. I don't think there's anybody in your life but you that's saying it. Then the person that you're in a relationship with, could you ask that person to also police the way you talk to yourself? And what that means is when he points it out, you can't kill him. The reason why I'm telling you to ask somebody else to coach you when it comes to how you talk to yourself or how you talk to others is because you can't hear it. I can't hear my tone. So I have this edge that I get that is really good in business, but when I bring it into the kitchen and I talk to the kids that way, or I talk to Chris that way, it is really demoralizing. And I have started asking the kids and Chris to point it out because I can't hear it. I just know I'm tired or I know I'm frustrated. It's amazing. The kids have started even saying, hey, anger spreads. Just because you're angry at work doesn't mean you get the right to talk to me that way. So it makes me angry when they point that out. But then I go, oh, there it is. I didn't even realize. I'm sorry. And I've gotten better about now immediately not getting angry that somebody's telling me that when I've asked them to, but actually taking the feedback and saying, thank you. I don't want to talk to you that way. And you're right. Just because I'm frustrated with a phone call I just had doesn't mean I get to take it out on you. You got this. And look, if you've done that much therapy, you have all the tools. And the thing about the advice to you is that we try to self-improve in isolation. It is so much easier when other people are helping you. So much easier. Whether it's exercise, whether it's your tone of voice, whether it's staying motivated, really big distinction for me, not to change alone. Okay?